Good morning, Diana. Welcome to my video evidence for integrated technology project. I'm Amy Isbister, and this is me getting started with the project. So right back at the start, I'm just setting up my first illustrated document for my actual digital artwork concepts. And these concepts are they ended up being the asset artwork that I've used to develop my website as well. So initially, this is an Illustrator working out how to do the logo, and this is the inverted version. So inverting it all out so I can make sure that I can use the logo on a dark background as well as a white one. So just giving myself a bit more versatility with my tech design logo. And further to that, this is my tiling, and this is just the last part of developing that. As you can see, individually having to color each tile and create it from scratch. It wasn't some graphic that I created that I just grabbed off the internet. I did develop it and draw it. So that's my overall artwork layout. And now I'm just fiddling with the actual navigation menu, just doing a bit of align and distribute to make sure that it looks good. And populating the information underneath. What is this? What is this place? Being the basic intro info that the user's going to see when they first look at the site. So in Illustrator, just experimenting with fonts, layout, and text tables as well. So as I follow and develop it down, you can see my workflow is reasonably efficient. I'm just grabbing text that I've already created, copying it, and then making it bigger. Now moving on to actually creating the site in Dreamweaver. So this is the file management process. I'm just making sure that I have a HTML page and I have a folder that I've named a folder. And this is what you call defining the site when you're talking about web development. And within that, creating the first tags, the first layouts as well. So that box at the top is called a tag, a div tag, and that's HTML. So that page you see is HTML, and you draw basically a whole bunch of boxes or div tags down the page, and then you use the CSS to define the attributes of how it looks. So there's a lot of to and froing between the HTML and the CSS documents, which is that little window on the left-hand side with the code. So it'll either be HTML or CSS at different points during this video. I'm just making sure I define the site properly. I'm generating my CSS document, which is an attached external linked file to the HTML page. So it allows the HTML page to load a lot quicker because it's drawing on information and content that's being loaded from somewhere else. What I've just done is put my basic nav in, which is just the text for the navigation. And now I'm just using CSS to define the attributes and the appearance, making sure that I'm happy with the font, the style, the color, and how it looks. I'm actually just writing the names in the HTML window in the code, and you can see that it's updated about this site, actually updated on the HTML window, which is the preview window for what it will look like in a sense. It's not how the document will be viewed in a browser. It gives you a bit of an example of what it will look like, but I actually flick down to Chrome at the bottom of the screen there. You can see in the start bar. To view how it will look live, essentially. Going through now, selecting my tiles that I'd created in Illustrator. Sorry, my logo. So that logo I exported as a PNG and I've placed in there. And now I'm just trying to work out how to get it into the center of the page, which you think would be simple, but there's definitely a few steps. I'm writing that code now just to see how it behaves. And there I have it. And I've just tested it in the browser. Again, flicking back and forward between the two. So inserting layouts, that's what I mean about the div tags, just putting the layouts in. Each box is a new field of content. So this one is what is that starter info? What is this place? That's that box, and I have to name it something. So I call it something that's relevant to the content. And now I'm just adding attributes, text center, and these are all either can be done through a property window generated in Dreamweaver or directly written into the code. So I do flick between the two depending on how comfortable I am with writing the code, because sometimes it's good to have parts of it automatically generate for you that you can then refer to, and then you refreshed on how that code makes how the HTML works or the CSS, and then you can apply that to whatever you need. So yeah, with my tiling, I'm flicking between Illustrator at the moment and Dreamweaver just to get the right size, make sure I'm happy with it. Again, adding the text over the top, and this was a bit tricky. It was a bit temperamental. I couldn't get to sit center and write for a while, so it was definitely a lot of trial and error throughout the whole process to develop this. This video is sped up about at least twice as fast, maybe even 2/3 faster. So you can imagine how slow each sort of section is to do. You've got to be very particular. So now I'm in Illustrator again with my artwork, and I'm just defining an export area, like a window. And I'm exporting it as a PNG that I'm going to then go back into Dreamweaver and place inside the document, into the main, I suppose, front end page, the landing page of the entire site. And this is a process that I continually did with all of the graphics, all the assets that you see on the final product. Again, adding a new window. Now I'm starting to look into the actual philosophy with the 3 big circles, the 1, 2, 3. So I'm defining some tags there that now after I've just exported the PNGs from Illustrator. And I'm just defining some sizes to make sure that it sits in place when it gets imported. And there you go. So there's the first one. I believe that I duplicate that CSS in its entirety, HTML in its entirety, and then switch out the image circle, either 1, 2, or 3, just swap it out to the right file name so that then updates to the particular graphic that I want to use or the image I want to use. There you go. So now I'm just working on the centering. This is pretty much exactly what I did for all of the pages within Dreamweaver. The index landing page was definitely the most work because that's where you set up pretty much your entire template. Okay, so I'm just looking at the footer now with the layout at the bottom. So these tiles I'm resizing and exporting so they form part of the bottom footer. As you can see, there it is. And it's not the right size, so I'm just readjusting it and making sure that it fits and that I'm happy with the layout. So here I am again, just double checking it, looking on the website, actually in the browser, reloading it, and I'm happy with that. Just moving on to the quick reference tips. As you can see, it's quite an elaborate layout, lots of boxes, lots of div tags to control the layout within it. And I'm applying some CSS rules as we go here, just making sure that everything's in alignment. Just flicking through to the browser, making sure that it is actually functioning as I want it to. As you can see, it's quite a fiddly process. It's not just a simple thing of, I want an item to go there and that's where it's going to sit on the page. It's not like simply drawing some vector artwork in Illustrator. It really is how the HTML and the coder behave within a browser and a website. So the HTML is pretty much the text and the images, and you define the boxes in HTML, And then all of the look and the feel, the position, the layout, any particular images that you have sitting within that are all CSS, cascading style sheets. And they're defined, and that really predicts the layout. Moving on to just double checking how it looks. And that's exactly what I did throughout the whole process, was edit the code, save it, reload it, and then test it in the browser consistently. You'd think it's not necessarily the most effective and efficient process, but it does get the job done. What I'm looking at now is, again, not happy with the size, so I've had to go back and redo that. So this is all just setting the basic structure of the layout for the main index page. And from this, I create copies of the main features, the navigation, pretty much that page. I duplicate it and then populate it with different content through the center. The header navigation and the logo and the footer navigation and images all stay the same on each page, and then it's just a matter of populating the center content for the different pages, for the resources and quick tips. Okay, so with the video tutorials, I used After Effects. Why? Because I found that it was able to cope with higher video screen resolution file sizes as opposed to Premiere, and it's easy to use. It's just a bit less. It's less fiddly than Premiere can be. So with After Effects, as you can see, I've got about 6 or 7 layers going on there, which include the video itself and any title overlays and the styles from the actual storyboarding, so the intro titles and the end titles as well. I've also added some comments throughout the videos as well, and their overlays and text. So you can see there's quite a bit of effort there. So I'm just fiddling with transitions a moment, looking to fade consistently through the document, so just trying to work that out. I'm also trimming that down to size, that work area, so redefining the length of it, and then once I do that, I've duplicated that actual sequence, and then I'm reusing that to create a new video tutorial. Now, I recorded the actual tutorial using Flashback, and that was just simply screen recording capture with audio at the same time. I exported that video as an an MP4, and then placed it inside After Effects. So once I established the first sort of template for the structure of it, it did make it easier because I didn't have to replicate everything every time when I did the videos. It was just sort of manipulating the links, making sure that any text overlays suited that particular content. Yep, that's pretty much all the video evidence. I hope you've enjoyed it, Diana. Thank you.